Casually Explained Reddit! Let's see, guys.
It's one of the biggest websites in the world and is more popular than ever. And as someone who's been there almost every day for more than 10 years because I can't regulate my own behavior, I often see people either confused as to how the website works or unfamiliar with common etiquette that they really need to know in order to fit in. And I want to make a bit of a guide. So let's start, of course, with the obvious: how do you navigate Reddit? Now, you might notice that over here there's a search bar in the upper right side of the website, but it's important to note that the search bar is purely for aesthetic purposes and serves no actual function. There's in fact currently no way of finding things on Reddit. The good news is that if you'd like to view a post you've already seen before, you can simply go to the front page and they'll all be there. Next, as you can see, I have the default subreddits along the top, and these individual subreddits act as filters to categorize posts on the website. So if you're into movies, you can go to r/movies. If you're into gaming, you can go to r/gaming. Or if you're into volunteering for children with disabilities, you can become a moderator at r/funny. Now, when it comes to how to use the website, instead of making content, there are several advantages to maximizing your time lurking and never really posting anything. Take me, for example. I now know a small number of incorrect facts about an extremely large number of things.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie, I use Reddit for a lot of shit. Like, whenever I'm looking up something, there's always that one guy on Reddit that has the fucking answer. So, I'm kinda, like, I wonder if he mentions that. That, like, whenever you're trying to find a specific fucking detail, it's always Reddit that you fucking find that shit.
Commenting on Reddit, you're able to accumulate what's called karma, or what's basically a virtual tally of the amount of times people have upvoted your submissions. Now, the first way to get more karma is by commenting on a post, and the good news is that pretty much every thread follows the same formula, so I'll let you know what to expect to get you started. A really witty and clever comment that you thoroughly enjoyed, only to be ruined by an unending rambling of edits as the person mounts their internet soapbox and slowly descends into insanity. This is the online equivalent of going to a Kanye concert. A concise and exhaustive summary of the topic at hand that seems brilliantly researched from someone who knows. Do professional poker players have
strategies, or is it all luck? Wait, regular online player here. Well, many people assume that the cards being drawn from a deck are random, therefore the game of poker is entirely luck. That is not true. Poker is in fact a game of partial information. Dude, I honestly don't even really know what poker is. I know that there's a poker face, but what the fuck? So this explains what poker is. Interesting.
It's a lot about the subject. Or
playing the game in... Playing the game according to game theory, or playing game theory optimal. What the fuck, bro? This fucking answer is so like ChatGPT.
Apply to that comment, pointing out how everything they just said was completely wrong. A comment that references a Reddit in-joke or meta post.
So I almost read all that shit and it was wrong? Motherfucker, ain't no way. That's why I always have a Jolly Rancher. Ah, yes, so useful.
Common ones you can throw out in any situation to get upvotes are Jolly Ranchers, Doritos, Cumbox, Coconut, Today You, Tomorrow Me.
Well, there's no fucking way he's being for real, right? Right? That's why I always have a Jolly Rancher. What does that fucking mean? And what?
7 out of 10 with rice, banana for scale, or I also choose this guy's dead wife. A link to a related subreddit that you already know, or a hyperlink to an XKCD comic title.
A Jolly Rancher. What does that even mean? Is there something I'm missing or not getting? What does that mean? Is it like an innuendo for like, oh, sucking things or whatever? Like, what does it mean? Oh wow, a big duck. That's totally
titled Relevant. An extremely specific anecdote that relates perfectly to the main post that seems almost too good to be true until you're right at the end when you remember the fact that in 1998 The Undertaker threw mankind off Hell in a Cell and plummeted 16 feet through an announcer's table. The 69 Gambit, wherein a top comment saying nice is followed by dozens of comments replying to it also saying nice. Every comment will have a few hundred upvotes except for one that will be at -3,000.
Because they wrote
a novelty account that actually contributes in a meaningful way, and every time they appear you click on their account to see if they've been able to transfer their talents to something else because you know they deserve better than this. And a terrible pun thread where everyone gets pity karma. Okay, so the second way to accrue Reddit karma is by submitting a post to a subreddit of your choosing. And of course, when making a submission, it's important to know your audience. Now, a lot of people criticize Reddit as being predominantly male, but if you go to the front page, it's almost always filled with big titties. With that said, if you're not familiar with an individual subreddit, it can be hard to know the exact demographics. As an example, if you go to r/teenagers, it's mostly memes made by white kids in high school who want to get laid. But if you go to r/black people Twitter, as you might expect, it's exactly the same thing. As for the individual subreddits, you need to know what they're about, and I wrote about 80 of these but then decided to cut them down to the most popular ones because I had a bit of a crisis that I made it that far. r/aw is where you post a picture of the kitten you rescued from the side of the road after you flew to Hong Kong and saved it from the tyranny of Activision Blizzard. r/makeup addiction is for makeup and makeup tutorials. r/relationship advice is for breakups and breakup tutorials. Oh my god,
wait, isn't there one that's like, am I the asshole? Isn't that like a very common one? I feel like I see that a lot on Twitter.
Popular opinion is for popular opinions. r/funny links you to your Facebook feed. Bodybuilding is...
Wait, what the fuck was that?
Popular opinion is for popular opinions. r/funny...
Then be like, where's the ketchup? And also be like, do you see that bug across the cannon? Yeah. You know what? Yeah. I wish I could find this TikTok. There's this TikTok about like 80 she like trying to find the fucking ketchup and it just like appears out of thin air. Once you ask someone else to find it. Literally fucking transparent and everything, and it just goes, oh whoosh, here it is. Like randomly finding the fucking block and pulling it out of the lava in Minecraft. It's great.
Links you to your Facebook feed. Bodybuilding is for looking at juicy dudes hit a rear glute spread. Finally some good content. r/pics is for creative writing. Formula One makes you want to buy a Mercedes. Shower thoughts is for copy pasting something you read in the comments section earlier. 3D printing is literally the opposite of printing money. r/videos is where I go to remember the good old days. r/Tinder is guys who pick karma over the possibility of love. Watch it for the plot is only for the most detail-oriented movie connoisseurs. r/trees is a subreddit dedicated to preventing deforestation. Old school cool is for black and white bikini pictures of your mom. Earth porn, history porn, human porn, and of course animal porn. All are cool pictures.
History porn. Motherfucker, what? Honestly, oh great. What does he mean by that?
Pictures that you can send to your colleagues. Male living spaces where you go to flex your $5,000 memes chair in the 31st floor penthouse you rent furnished in your second year of college. Male fashion advice and r/streetwear is for when you can't afford to move out, but you can afford a $5,000 outfit. Ask Reddit is where people you didn't ask.
Predators who've had sex. What is it like? What? Haven't had sex yet, but bro, honestly, that's so real. That makes sense. That's Reddit.
For a question you didn't come up with. Gone Wild is for safari pictures. Am I the assholes to get validation for only...
There it is, guys! We found it!
Seeing things from your...
So he's just explaining every single subreddit. Like with a quick TLDR. He's not explaining Reddit. He's just explaining the Reddit forums a bit.
Own perspective. r/politics is the same thing. r/upvoted not because girl but because it is very cool. However, I do concede that I did initially click because girl is for any activity done by a hot girl. Futurology is for things Elon Musk said he'll do. Today I learned is for things you'll forget tomorrow. r/movies is for Disney, Sony, and Universal's marketing department. Explain like I'm 5 is for massively underestimating how dumb 5-year-olds are. Ask Science is for left bracket, removed right bracket. r/seduction is if you want to become an Omega pussy slayer right before college starts. And r/anime IRLs for people with the same intentions. Life pro tips is for little known real life pro gamer strategies.
Now, where's
like
the VTuber category though? Where's the VTuber subreddit?
r/music is for posting songs by lesser known artists such as...
Wait, there's a fucking r/drink water? Wait.
Go to class and drink water.
Oh, never mind. There is no. Never mind.
r/music is for posting songs by lesser-known artists such as Arctic Monkeys, Daft Punk, Queen, Tame Impala, and Gorillaz. Mildly interesting actually completely delivers. And again, that's just the main subreddits. There's thousands more, but they're pretty much all Instagram.
How many people that are on Reddit that like browse it all day and shit are like just fucking stoners saying all this like stoner thought type shit.
So at this point, it's pretty natural to ask, all right, I've been here for years, posting every day and commenting on thousands of pieces of content, just like you said. What can I do with all my Reddit karma? And that's a great question. Now, once you've had your fill on Reddit, you might say to yourself, okay, I'd like to go now. But unfortunately, one of the worst parts of going on Reddit is that you can't get off. Not figuratively, of course, half the website.
Okay. Oh, no, he meant the other way. Okay, I immediately was like, okay.
But in a literal sense, because even if you close the browser window and pick up your phone, muscle memory will cause you to immediately reopen the app. And once you've reached this point...
I hate that that's me with Twitter.
I'm afraid it's too late. you've been assimilated. You'll start to notice that you're indifferent to everything before Super Nintendo and hate everything after Bakugan. You're nostalgic for Yu-Gi-Oh!, Dragon Ball Z, and any of the Pokemon up to Ruby and Sapphire, and nothing makes you angrier than Fortnite, TikTok, and rich people. You work in IT and do development on the side, as in you built your own computer once. You have anxiety and mild depression, but haven't tried fixing it, and you're in love with Keanu Reeves and Henry Cavill until a month from now when they make a small mistake. Now all your real-life conversations start with, "So I was reading this article," but you really mean you skimmed the headline and read the comments section. You'd rather give out your social security number than your username, and despite your best efforts to resist it, every time you see the next global calamity gracing the world news, you hang your head in shame, clench your fist, and whisper, "We did it, Reddit."
Huh? Okay. Well, that was something. For sure. Well, guys, if you enjoyed that video, remember to hit like and subscribe! Hey, yo! Well, that is so cool. Wow. Yeah, Spy Casually Explained, if you guys want to know. Pretty interesting. I'm sure you probably already know who he is, but yeah, interesting.